The secret Bagent is officially QB2. The Chicago Bears have cut PJ Walker, our primary backup, before this move, and now it seems like Tyson Bagent, the UDFA out of Shepherd, is going to be the Bears' primary backup quarterback. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears news update video, which I'll be doing anytime the Chicago Bears news going on. Subscribe to my channel if you guys want all my thoughts and my opinions on breaking Chicago Bears news. And man, I'm happy about this move because it tells me the Bears front office and the coaching staff does care about on-the-field performance. They don't care only about the money they gave to players because they owed PJ Walker a guaranteed, I think, $2.5 million, which they're going to have to eat now because they cut him. They signed him to a 2-year contract, PJ Walker. They did, and PJ Walker had a bad training camp, a bad preseason performance too. Seemed to be very inaccurate, both in camp, practice, and in the games as well. So they cut him, which that's what they should do, okay? Obviously, I'm a fan of what PJ Walker did in the XFL before this. He had some good starts with the Carolina Panthers, but if you've been watching all the games and all the camp as well, you know, he just was not cutting as a QB2, QB3, even going up against backups. He was not able to have the performances that, Tyson Bagent did against the backups. So I wish PJ Walker the best of luck, but it's a results-oriented business, and he could not perform, unfortunately, for us. And hopefully he lands on his feet. But let's talk now about what this move means for the Chicago Bears and Tyson Bagent, which we're calling now the secret Bagent, apparently, because that's how you say his name. It's Bagent, not Bagent, which I made the mistake of saying it Bagent before too, but it's Bagent. It's pronounced Bagent. So we're going to be calling him the secret Bagent because he's infiltrated his way to the QB2 spot somehow after being looked over by everybody in the NFL. Every single team passed on him multiple times, but he's found a home now with the Chicago Bears, and he's been a very good backup quarterback so far for the Bears in both camp and preseason as well. I'm not going to read you guys his numbers in preseason because numbers and stats do not matter at all in preseason games, especially in camp either. But talking about his play and what I saw on tape out of him so far, again, like I mentioned in my post-game reaction after the last game, he reminds me so much of a Brock Purdy. And I'm not just saying that because he's a white guy that got looked over by the entire NFL, that is kind of a game manager that can also be a little bit mobile, but I kind of am too because that's exactly what Tyson Bagent is. He's a guy that looked over by the majority of the NFL. Purdy got picked with the last pick in the draft. Bagent got undrafted entirely, but both of them are so similar in the fact that they're quick decision makers that can get rid of the ball super fast, sense pressure in the pocket super well, and be efficient distributors of the football, in the pocket. It be like good game managers too, right? Like I don't think either Purdy or Bagent are ever going to be superstar, like top 5 quarterbacks. They don't have the potential to really be that, but as a backup, and if Justin Fields ever gets hurt, we could have something here with Tyson Bagent because, man, in the few starts he had, I saw a lot of good out of him, which for a rookie quarterback, that is extremely impressive. He's obviously the all-time leading touchdown passer in Division 2 at Shepherd. He was a superstar there, but the question was, could that game translate against NFL level players? And we still don't know that entirely because he's only gone against backups so far, in the league. So again, I'm telling all Bears fans, like, don't go crazy with the Tyson Bagent hype because the people out there saying he should be starting at QB1 over Justin Fields are just extremely stupid because they're not acknowledging the fact that Tyson Bagent is going up against backups so far. We haven't seen him go up against starters, which if you're of the opinion that he can succeed against starters too, you're fair to have that opinion, but so far we have not seen that out of Bagent yet. And even though he can get rid of the football faster than Fields can, Fields does have that potential to be a top 10 quarterback if he can refine the smaller aspects of his game. So there's no QB1 competition going on just yet, guys. Like, Fields definitely is still QB1, but Bagent is a fine QB2 that if he ever has to step in, like, I'm feeling a little bit optimistic now about his ability to do that because the Bears finally do have that backup quarterback that actually has potential to grow and not only be a stagnant, backup. Like, what if Bagent could be a Brock Purdy? And, a Brock Purdy is starting somewhere like with the 49ers. So there's value for guys like Brock Purdy in the NFL. And if he can be Brock Purdy, like if down the road, if Justin Fields is doing great for us, if you want to trade him for significant draft capital, which I'm getting way too ahead of myself with that. But like thinking down the line, if the Bears do now have hopefully 2 good quarterbacks, we could trade one of them, probably Bagent down the road, or just keep him here as a good backup because having a good backup quarterback as we have seen in the past, is really important, because when you go to the playoffs, the Super Bowl, like sometimes you need that backup to step up for you, i.e. a Nick Foles back in 2017. So I'm getting way too ahead of myself with this Nick Foles talk, with this trading Tyson Bagent talk. So far, it's just a good backup story. You know, a guy that's risen through the ranks and had a good camp, a good preseason performance, and you know, rightfully earned his way to be that primary backup behind Justin Fields. And we'll see if it ever turns into more than that. You know, I obviously hope that he's never going to have to be QB1, because I hope that Justin Fields can be the QB1 for us and stay healthy his entire career and lead us to many playoff victories, eventually a Super Bowl too, I hope. But it is pretty cool to have a decent backup here too, because I feel like Bears fans have been begging the front office to take a swing on a guy like this. And you know, you never know, like, you can get lucky, and we got lucky with this because we found a pretty decent backup, it feels like, in Tyson Bagent that we continue to develop over the next couple years. And again, I already know a lot of people in the comments will say that Bagent now has to be QB1 because he's been a lot better than Fields so far in preseason, which I agree, that's true. But Bagent was going up against backups. He had a much larger sample size than Fields did. So like, I just think it's so stupid that we're even having that conversation. We should not be talking about that. We should be happy and excited about having finally a decent developmental backup here in Chicago. And, you know, I wish Tyson Bagent the best of luck with us, because the more the merrier, okay? If you have two good quarterbacks, that's better than having just one good quarterback. But again, Bagent does not, in my opinion, have the ceiling that a Justin Fields has. But he is a good game manager, a good distributor of the football, thinks quick on his feet, like a lot of good qualities in his game too that could help out the Chicago Bears. You know, we ever have to rely on him to start for us anytime this year. So leave your comments down below, guys. A pretty fantastic story seeing this guy that nobody knew about from Shepherd rise his way to be the QB2 of the Chicago Bears. I mean, that's a big deal and a, you know, fantastic thing to talk about. So love the story, and I'll be back with a lot more videos in the coming days. I have to give you guys my hype video for this season. I also have to give you guys a prediction video for Bears and Packers, which is only in about 14 days. I cannot wait for that, guys. Football is officially back. By the way, I hope you guys like the lights in the back. I got new lighting in the back, and I have more lights coming in the coming days too, because I've seen your comments talking about how dull my lighting was in the back. But hopefully this is a little bit different. You know, it's a little bit more darker in the back, so it's more of a contrast with the lights here and the LEDs in the back. But let me know down below if you like it or if you don't like it. But, you know, hope you guys have a good rest of your, well, it's the next week now, so hope you guys have a good week. As always, bear down.